see. Let me see something. Well, okay. We should be good now. Hopefully everybody can hear me, see me, everything's good. Let's see here, it's just about straight. There we go. Okay. All right, good morning. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for your hellos. And thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Sawadi Ton Chao, which is good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Exeter. Long time no see. Let's see here. Hang on one second. The fight went off here. Hang on. I hate to say it, but I am watching the fights as I'm streaming. The fights from Brazil, and then also the boxing with Canelo Alvarez. Anyway, today we have settling into expat life here in Thailand. And I don't know, I just started thinking about it, and I thought, you know, most people should know by now that visiting here, you come here and visit for 2 weeks and you think everything is hunky-dory and oh, it's so easy, oh, it's so wonderful here. It's much different than living here. And I can tell you that because I've been here now, it's about 29 years, almost 30 years. And I can tell you that visiting here and running around, hitting the bars, getting drunk, going and seeing the sights, going to temples, going to whatever it may be, is much different than living here full time and this is your home. It's much, much different and your needs are different. You don't need to turn the electricity on and you don't need to pay the electric bill every month when you're visiting here, at least in most cases, unless you're visiting here for a few months, then maybe you have to. So, as I said, I was looking forward to getting my electric bill, and I can say, let's see here, yeah, I am pleasantly surprised because I thought my electric bill was going to go up about 3,000 baht. I thought my electric bill was going to be like 10,000 baht this month. I just got the electric bill, and you can't see it, but it's 7,400 baht, which means that our electric bill, you know, 7,400 baht is a little bit high for our, you know, it used to be 5,000-6,000, and then it's gone up over time as it's gotten hotter, as we've used our air conditioners more. And the one air conditioner that we've had for a long time, you know, it was in need of some repairs. We bought a new one, and now the electric bill has gone back down. So I think, you know, some of that factors in, but I mean, listen, last month our bill was like 7,200 and something baht, so 7,400 is not bad for me. For you, it might be bad. I know people, they're paying 500, 1,000 baht for their electric bill. Maybe they're paying 2,500 baht. But they don't live like I do. They don't have the family. They don't have the things that I have in my house. And so, thus, they're paying far less. So that's what we're going to talk about today. I wanted to read something today. It's one of those, you know, I got a letter kind of things, but not really that great. Because this guy was an idiot, I think. I don't know. The way that he writes, I would say English is probably not his first language. And maybe he's not. Maybe he's trying to chime along and say there are many reasons that you want to escape Thailand. I don't really know many other than the tourist areas are full. There are a lot of tourists here. It's getting harder to find places where you can be alone. It's getting harder to find places where you have peace and quiet and all this, but you can find those places. So this is what he writes. This is in response to my 11. I didn't read this letter from me. This is a letter from somebody else. He was an American expat. 11 simple reasons why fed up American expat is escaping Thailand. He says, well, it like a lot of effort. Just have a good time. Sounds like it's bad. Longer, less in the US and take your money somewhere else, no problem. Every country has the same thing, Scott, and that last sentence kind of got me. Every country doesn't have the same thing. You're not going to go to America and find a lifestyle like you have in Thailand, like you have in Brazil, like you have in Ecuador, like you have in Portugal. You're not going to find it. It's different. I don't know how, that's so simple. Every place is different. That's why you're here. And when you're here, some people are saying, why isn't it like it's back in the US? Or why isn't it like it is in Australia? Why isn't it like it is in the UK? Because this is Thailand. That's why. Don't expect it to be. So when you're moving over here, you really need to take the time to settle in. And I would say most people don't really get settled for at least 2 or 3 years. And I don't mean physically settled. I mean emotionally and any other way. Spiritually, it may take them longer to settle in. So we're going to go over that today. But that's what he wrote. And it's like, dude, I don't know what you're trying to say. The guy who wanted to leave Thailand, he had his reasons why he wanted to leave. And if you want to leave, leave. It's simple. I've said there's a chance I'll leave in the future. Maybe I will. I don't know. If I can find a place with, few tourists, clean air, little traffic, it's peaceful, and I can get to everywhere that I need to go within, say, 30 to 60 minutes, I'll go there. I may move there. Depends. Depends on the wife, depends on me, depends on what my kids are doing. Do we really care about leaving them? We don't know yet because we're not there. We still have one son who's still in school. He's got a year left. When that year is done, then we can start to think a little bit. Once he has a job, he's settled in, we can think a little bit about what the future will bring. Now, the other day I went to go look for the drone guy. And I said, I think maybe he's in the south. I don't know. I'm going to have to send him a message. I'm going to have to see. Maybe I'll have to mail it to him. Fortunately, he is still in Bangkok. It's a little bit of a haul. I did contact him via line. And I'm going to go there probably Wednesday or maybe, I don't know, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. I may go there. Well, I'm going to go there. I want my drone fixed. And I know it's not going to cost me all that much. I mean, it may cost me $200. But if it costs me $200, it's $200 well spent. Then I have to go get the insurance on the drone, which you need to have here. I had it before, but now it's expired. I need to go back, get it reinstated, or just, get another year. And I think that's about $65, something like that. I don't really remember. So that should help. And, I wanted to have the drone thing, for quite some time. I wanted to have my drone back since I crashed it. And, it will happen eventually. So, as I said, we're going to talk about settling in and what it takes to settle in here. Some people, they don't really realize that living here and visiting here are much, much different. It's day and night, really. I know a lot of people, they come here. I know one guy, he came here, and all he would do is visit for like a month. And his idea of visiting was going to Nana Plaza, maybe going to Pattaya. And I'm like, dude, you think that that's all of Thailand? It's not. It's not representative of Thailand. You need to go some other places. Yeah. And he would never go. So he never got to see Thailand. Now he's not in Southeast Asia. I think he's in South America. So, you know, what's he gonna do now? Well, now it's, you know, if he wants to come all the way back here and he wants to stay here and he wants to see how things are, he wants to go somewhere different, well, he can do that. I don't see it happening. So he lost out, in my opinion. It's okay, you want to go to those places, but go some other places. Go see the sights. Go really, you know, look around a little and learn a little bit. And that's something that you need to figure out once you move here. So let me get into it here. If I can find my little paper, find my notes. We're going to talk about settling in and some of the things you need to do in order to settle in. What's important, and I think some of them you may know, some of them you might not know. Let's see here. As I drink my cafe latte. You can't really see it now, can you? Oh my God. Well, that wasn't too good. Spilled it all over me. My God, what happened there? Jesus Christ. All right, so one of the things you have to do before you even think about coming over here, you know, if you're living in an apartment, you give up your apartment, you come over here, okay, that's one thing. For me, I sold everything I had, I gave everything away I had, and I threw in the garbage everything that I had. So, you know, you're going to have to figure out what are you going to do with your stuff. And I brought stuff with me. I didn't bring that much with me. I only brought 3 bags. But there's stuff you might want to bring with you. I had some furniture. I didn't want to bring it with me. I sold it to someone. I had a lot of other things, and I just went, I'm getting rid of them. I don't need them. So you got to figure out, what are you going to do with your stuff? If you have a lot of stuff, maybe it's very valuable and you don't want to bring it over here, well then maybe you got to pay for storage, but that's another expense. And I understand, you know, you got to pay $50 a month for storage. Sometimes you have to do it. So that's something you really got to think about before you even come over here. Then obviously the other thing you have to think about, you need to make sure you got a passport. If you don't have a passport, forget about it. It's not that hard to get one, but you need to get one as soon as possible. And if you're gonna come over here and be an expat, you should probably have experience. You should probably already have your passport, because you're gonna need it. And if you come over here a couple of times, it gives you an idea of what the lay of the land is. You can check things out. You can learn about the place. You can figure things out, and that takes time. So you're going to need your passport. You're going to need to get a visa. Now, if you want to come over here on a tourist visa or you want to get a visa that, you know, like a retirement visa, a media visa, an ED visa, you're going to have to talk to the consulate. Maybe you can do it online, maybe you can do it through the mail, but you're going to have to do it. But if you want to come over here on no visa, a no visa entry, you can just come over here, you get a month, and then you get another month. So from that, you can bump your visa up into something more long-term. And that's what you need to figure out. It's very easy to do, but it is a little bit time-consuming, and, you know, it has to be done, so that's what you do. as far as the passport goes, you should be able to get it online. I mean, now for me, I make an appointment online. Maybe that's what you can do. Make an appointment online, go to the nearest place where you get your passport, which is, I thought it was Homeland Security. For me, the last time I did, I've done mine like 4 times. And now they changed it up a little bit. I had to make an appointment to go to the U.S. Embassy. You go to the U.S. Embassy, they ask for the payment, which I don't remember how much it is, but it's $110, something like that. It's not cheap. It used to be like 70 or 65 or something. But you got to go in, you pay for the passport and everything. You got to have an envelope, and they have it. Everything is online what you need. So you should go online, research it online if you're going to do it, and that should tell you what you need. But for me, the last time I did it, I went into the U.S. Embassy, I paid my money, and then they said you got to have this, this, this. And so from there, they have you go outside to a place where you give them your passport, you give them your envelope, you give them a return envelope, you put it all together, boom, you send it out. And then it supposedly can take up to like anywhere like 3 months, 6 months, but I never have found that to be the case. I always got my passport back within a month. And yeah, where you go is, I don't know in the U.S. now, because I haven't had it done in the U.S. for 30 plus years. I had my first passport when I was like 16, and then I've gotten like 4 extensions since then, 4 new passports since then. And I had 2 passports that were like this thick. They used to add pages to the passport, and I had 1 passport that was 7 passports thick. That was when I was working in the media and I was traveling around a lot. I was going everywhere, doing things. It was great. But now they don't add the pages to the passport. They make you get a new passport. So anyway, that's what you're going to have to do. You can just check. You can check online. It's very easy to find out. It's very easy to get. As long as you have everything that you need. You're going to need a couple of photos. I mean, it's really pretty easy. So then if you figure you're ready to come legally, you have a passport, you have your visa, and you've taken care of everything that you have back home, something else that you might want to think about is making sure that your bank is set up in the U.S., however you need it to be set up. Your banking, your finance, let's say your stocks and bonds, these kind of things, you need to make sure that you can get access to them from here. Some places are really picky about things. My banks used to be picky. They wouldn't let me make withdrawals from over here, and I had to contact them. And then it was like every 3 months, every 6 months, I had to contact them again and say, well, I'm in Thailand, I live here, but I'm still an American citizen. And they would say, yeah, okay. Now I don't even use ATMs over here. I don't use ATMs from the U.S. Never. But I wouldn't say that it's a bad idea to have an ATM card as a backup. Because I had one as a backup. I had 2. I had 2 not long ago. About a year ago, I had 1, and the other one needed to be renewed. I went into the bank. I said, I need to get my card. And the guy said, oh, let me give you one. He goes, I'll give you a temporary one, and then we'll call in and we'll get it all set up for you. I said, okay. He gave me a temporary one. And then we went in online, and there was he had to punch a couple of numbers and everything. I'm sitting with the bank officer. They said, okay, yes, we'll take care of it. They were going to send that to my parents' house. They never did. They never did my ATM card. I never got it. The temporary one, I tried to use it here, it didn't work. So they were charging me $95 a year because that ATM card was connected to my frequent flyer miles. And I just said, you know what? I don't need the card. I don't care about the card. Don't give me the card. I don't want to pay $100, you know, a year. Okay. Now I have one card left. And I think that place is in Georgia. I renew my card. It's going to be sent to my parents because they won't send it overseas. Supposedly, they never sent it to my parents. My parents never got it. And I'm like, do I really need it? No, I don't. I'm not paying anything for it. I'm not going to worry about it. Now, when I go back to the U.S., I may go ahead and get one just so I have one as a backup. So you want to make sure that your banking is set up in the U.S. or in Australia or the UK, wherever you are. You want to make sure that you have things set up and you know your routing number, your account number, these kind of things. You want to know what everything is, and you can find this stuff out yourself. But you want to know before you go. That's what you really need to do. You need to set everything up and know before you go. You need to make sure you got a handle on it. You have a little folder, everything's right in that folder. You know exactly where everything is, and you don't lose that folder. Now, the other thing that you want, and this can be a little bit of a pain in the neck, is you want to have accommodation when you get over here. But a lot of people, what they do is they come over, they get a cheap hotel, and then they look around for a place, and then whenever they're able to get a place, whether it's within the first month, whatever it is, they do that. Or they get an Airbnb and they rent it for 2 weeks and then they move into their new place. But you need to know you have a place to move to. And if you're brand new, you've never been here, you don't want to go in and just go buy a place right off the bat. You want to take your time. So it's probably a good idea to get a place to rent for the first year and then look around and try for a place that you want to buy. I think that's important. So that's the other thing, is you want to arrange for accommodation before arriving in Thailand, whether it's temporary at like a Airbnb or a hotel or whatever it may be. You want to go ahead and make sure that that's set up. Another thing you want to make sure you do is you want to get, well, before you do any of this stuff, let me see here. What's going on? Here we go. All right. Before you do anything, really nowadays you need to have a phone. There used to be a time when I didn't want a phone. A lot of people I knew didn't have phones, but nowadays you really need to have a phone. I mean, you want to do it without it, it's going to be more of a hassle to not have a phone than to have a phone. And I personally recommend AIS because I think they're very good. But there is another plan. It's a bit more expensive. That's on True, and I don't really like True. I didn't used to like True. Now the only thing we have that is True, we used to have True cable. We don't have cable anymore. We have Netflix. But the only thing now is we have the home internet, because we don't want to log in through our phones every time we're going to watch TV. We don't want to have to worry about all this. That is 747 baht a month. But you need to go and get a SIM card, not one of those at the airport. You don't want to do that. You want to get a SIM card, whether it's AIS or True or whatever it is. You want to get one of those and get the best plan you can. The problem with these places, AIS and True, is they have so many plans, and they purposely do this so that they can confuse you. They don't want you to know the very best plan for you. They'll try to help you, and maybe you'll get that plan, but they want you to kind of figure it out. They want you to know, oh, I can do this one. What about that one? Now, for me, I pay 399 baht. It's postpaid. I pay at the end of the month. and I pay $3.99. I get 60 gigs of bandwidth, so I can stream, I can watch videos, I can do whatever. And that I've only run out one time, and I paid like 29 baht or something and had an extra day, and that was it. Just because it was running out, my bill was due the next day, so then they start the cycle over again. So I only needed it for one day, and that's in all the time that I've had it. Most of the time, I don't use all the internet time up. So that's $3.99. I know some other people that have True, and it's like you can get it for like $700, $1,100, and it's unlimited. For like $1,100, it's unlimited. And you can do the same thing with AIS if you want, but you have to prepay. They don't want foreigners having postpaid that runs up into the thousands of baht. They don't want that. What I was told is you get 500 baht a month, and what they'll do is they'll double it, so that if you don't pay the bill right on time, then they don't just shut your internet off. And I've never had that happen, but that's what they told me. That's the way it works. So it's 1,000 baht. So really, and I get 200 minutes of talk time for free. And I get, I think the SMS messages are like 2.5 baht each. And I don't SMS very often unless I'm SMSing through Line. I use Line for just about everything, and it works great. And I also have WhatsApp, and I have Facebook Messenger, and all these other things. All right, so you got to get a SIM card. Then something else, and I don't think that people think about this very often. If you've got a pet or pets that you want to bring over here, you need to make sure they have all their vaccinations. You get everything in line with Thailand or wherever it is you're moving. But let's say Thailand. You're moving to Thailand from the U.S. You need to get everything set up. You need to pay whatever it is to the airline to bring them with you, and they need to be in quarantine for a set amount of time. So it's a bit of a hassle, but if you want your pet over here, you can bring them over here. Now, this really goes without saying, but something that you really need before you even leave, you need to make sure you have some kind of a financial backup plan. And I mean, you know, like, listen, if I already know, for me, if I decide I'm going to transfer money over, and for some reason that transfer doesn't come, I can get money. I have access to money. Or I can ask somebody, oh, can I borrow 5,000 baht until, Thursday, or whatever it is. I know I can do it. It's fairly simple. But not everybody has that. And so you need to make sure that when you're coming over here, hey, what happens if for some reason my Social Security doesn't come? And I don't have any money because I'm living from paycheck to paycheck. What are you going to do? You got no food, or you have very little food, you're going to scrape by for another couple of days? You might, but it's always good to have some kind of a backup plan and some kind of an escape plan. I don't know that aside from something that normally doesn't happen, like COVID, or like a war when the ties are cracking down and they say, no Americans can come or go, or something like that. Just make sure you have money. Keep some money stashed in your apartment, stashed in a safe, stashed wherever you need it. Keep 50,000 baht, 100,000 baht if you have it. Keep it stashed, and that way you have access to it in case you need it. I'm not talking about, oh, I want to go buy an ice cream and I don't have any money. Don't buy the ice cream. Don't go into your emergency funds to go and buy an ice cream or get something from across the street, some noodles or something. You don't want to do that. Which I have done in the past, but you don't really want to do that. Something else you might want to get once you get here. Is anybody talking today? Is anybody making any comments? I don't really see any. Let me see something. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 comments. Wow, fantastic. I might as well say, click the thumbs up if you wouldn't mind. Click the thumbs up, smash the thumbs up, subscribe, click the notification bell, and go down in the description. Everything's down in the description. But if you need to, you want to get some merch right now from the 3rd until the 7th. From the 3rd until the 7th, you get 20% off of all merch. Okay, well, there's nothing going on right now when it comes to vaccines for foreigners. You don't really need that. And you don't need anything for COVID. Thank you very much, Daniel. I was wondering where you are. I was like, I haven't seen Daniel lately. But okay, you're here. Thank you. I appreciate it. You know, maybe you get a flu shot or whatever before you come over here. But other than that, you really don't need anything. What is this here? One thing to be aware of, many accounts have phone authentication and of something, what? And of course, your phone will have a different number on it. Okay. Easily rectified if you do things the right way. Yes, you may need phone authentication, or you may need an email authentication or SMS authentication. You may need that. And I find that in many cases, it's not necessary. However, every once in a while, I need it. I use Magic Jack. Okay, and that allows me to get messages and to authenticate myself through that, because someone will send me an SMS or someone will call. You can also have callback, and they will call you, and then you authenticate it that way. My Magic Jack is $49 a month. And then after that, all the calls to North America are free. I have made, literally, I probably speak to my mother and father, I would say at least an hour or two a week. And then I speak to a few other people. The other day, my friend called me from Reno. We spoke for about 2 hours. He called me, but he had free service. And, you know, the number is in Florida. So I set it up to where it's in Florida. If my parents want to call, they can call very easily. It's cheap, you know, they don't have to pay. And then the banks can do the same thing. The banks, whoever it might be. Now, once in a while, you get some places that cannot use it for some reason, but usually you can find ways around it. You know, and if they are that difficult to authenticate, I mean, you know, I've authenticated crypto stuff, bank accounts, you name it. I mean, stock. There's all kinds of things that I have authenticated in the, you know, a stock service. There's all kinds of things that I've used in the past that work very, very well. And they all work with, I used to have something else, and I don't even remember what it was. And I used to have a number on my Skype. I don't use Skype anymore. I don't use Zoom. I use Line. I use WhatsApp. Sometimes I use Facebook Messenger. And then I use the Magic Jack. And then, like I said, the Magic Jack is $49 a year. It's not bad. It's a pretty good deal. $4 a month, and you can talk as long as you want to anybody in North America. That's Canada, the U.S., and I think in some places in Mexico. So that's good. Let me see something here. Everything is crashing here for some reason. Let's see here. Okay. So let's see here. Back to my little notes here. I already said financial backup, whatever. Okay. When you're coming over here, something else that you should be prepared for, especially for times like now, is the weather. If you're somebody who lives in like Minnesota and all you have is a bunch of sweaters, you might want to invest in a couple pairs of shorts. How to get the best rate for buying bot? Well, I have a link down in the description. Use Wise. Just transfer, set it up like that and use that, or you can use Super Rich. And you know, there's a couple other services that are pretty good. But that's how you get the best rate. I mean, I get the market rate with Wise, and then they take out, oh, it's way better than PayPal. By far. PayPal takes out 3 to 5%. Wise might take out 1%. So I would go with Wise by all means, and I have the link down below. And I'm not just saying it, I use Wise for everything. Sometimes I need $50. I'm like, shit, I need an extra 50. Boom, transfer, it's right there. I get it in a matter of seconds. You know, sometimes I'm transferring $2,000. I'm like, okay. And sometimes I got $500 coming and I got $1,000 coming. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to wait, and then I'll transfer all of them, and the rate will be, you'll save a little bit of money by transferring a larger amount than you will 2 or 3 smaller amounts. So it works really good. But the other thing that I was going to say that everybody needs to have, and I'm sorry, unless you are fairly well off, and I mean, that means you've got 5 or 10 mil sitting in the bank, you need to have health insurance. You really need to have health insurance. I mean, it's that simple. I don't know what else to say, but you do need to have it. Make sure you get it. Let me see here. Everybody should have health insurance. I really am a firm believer of that. Unless you have a lot of money, I mean, you know, listen, if you're in and you have something like cancer, who knows how much it's going to cost? It may be cheaper than the U.S. Okay, I understand, but you still got to pay a lot of money. Let's say that you pay 10 million baht, right? Let's say you pay 30 million baht. Well, that's $1 million. Now, if you want to pay all that yourself, be my guest. If you have something less, and it's something that, you know, you're in and out, you know, it's $100, $200, that's not much, right? You don't always have to have insurance, but when you get older, and you're older like me, I think it pays to have insurance. It just does. You don't have to worry. And honestly, I think it's worth it sometimes to have outpatient coverage. Especially if you're clumsy, all kinds of things happen to you. I don't do that much now like I used to. I'm not trekking all around. I'm not walking all over different countries. And, you know, so that's something else to think about. I personally think that American and British companies that sell insurance are better deals overall than Thai companies. The ceilings are higher. But you can get insurance in Thailand and have a fairly high ceiling, you know, 1 million baht, 2 million baht, which is, you know, sometimes it's 10 million baht, which is, you know, that's what, 350,000, something like that, $300,000. Pacific Cross, Pacific Prime. Listen, I don't get into insurance very much because there's so many different insurance companies, and that people who are getting insurance, everybody is different. When you're older, it's much different than when you're younger. If I'm 21 years old, my rate is not going to be as high as somebody who's in the same position who's 62. What I know, though, is that it may cost you $100, $200 a month. Back in the U.S., it might cost you $800 a month, which is something else to consider. So you really, I would say with the health insurance, take your time, look around, really find the best deal you can, lock it in, and then if you're going to hit 62 or 65, whenever they stop accepting 65, when they stop accepting people because of age, you'll be in already and you can continue. If you wait until you're 65 or 68 or whatever it is, for some of them it's like 70, well then they're not going to take you. Then you got to go on to the next one. So you're better off being insured when you're going to hit that age limit. You really need to do that. You need to think about that. And some people don't even think about it. Oh, I don't care. You don't care yet. Or they just think, I'll go to a government hospital here. And, well, sometimes when you go into a place that's a government hospital, depending on what you're going in for, if you're staying in for, say, 2 weeks, it sucks. I've been to some government hospitals, and they suck. Yes, I know all about the tax rules and all this other kind of stuff. Yes, I know. Jesus Christ, everybody's so freaking worried about the tax rules. Then if you're that worried about the tax laws here, then don't transfer money in. I mean, you're not going to have to pay all that much. Honestly. It's not like, unless you are living high on the hog, and I mean, you know, you're bringing in 20,000 US a month, you probably don't have to worry about it. And when I say you don't have to worry about it, I mean that the amount of tax that you're going to pay is relatively low. If you're paying anything, depends. You know, they're not allowed to tax on Social Security. They're not allowed to tax some pensions. So, yes, it would be a good idea to go to an accountant who actually knows about these things. I'm not talking about your standard Thai accountant, but somebody who really knows. And I don't think anybody really knows about these tax laws because they have not expounded upon what the laws are and how they're going to enforce them, how they're going to go after people, how they're going to check, how they're going to really know what is what. So I would say, if you're worried about that before you come over, don't worry. It's like many things here. If you have a little money, you can work it out. It's that simple. That's how Thailand works. If you have a little money, and you're not doing something completely illegal, you can work it out. That's how Thailand works. All right. Now, another thing that you really need to do, and there used to be a time when I didn't think it was really important to have a bank account in Thailand. Now I do. One of the reasons I do is because of QR codes, the prevalence of QR codes everywhere. You're on the back of a motorcycle, you're going from here to there, you ask the motorcycle, can I scan? Do you take transfers? Oh, yes. Prompt pay. Oh, okay. You just take your phone out, boom, transfer the money. You don't have to hand them cash. You don't have to carry around a wad of cash. When I first came to Thailand, I always had a wad of cash on me. I used to carry 20,000, 50,000 on me. Because I thought, hey, I got all this cash. But first of all, it makes it easier to spend. Now I know exactly where everything goes. I don't mind that. I don't mind. Listen, my bank account it is what it is. I have other bank accounts. I have bank accounts in multiple countries. So the reality is, just stay above board, and you shouldn't have any problem. I mean, you carry some cash in case you need the cash. Carry 1,000 baht on you at all times. So if you got to pay a motorcycle guy and he's like one of these guys, oh, I know bank account. Okay, you can pay him cash. It's that simple. But you really need to have a bank account here. If you're living here. If you're visiting here, you don't really need it. Use your ATM, bring enough cash, whatever it is. But you need to have a bank here, and I think it's very, very important that you do, not only because of the QR code, but for several other reasons. You get an ATM card, okay, you don't even really need an ATM card because you can do a cashless or a cardless withdrawal. You can do a withdrawal from the ATMs now. You don't have to have a card. It's fabulous. But if for some reason your bank is not there, some of the banks, they will allow you a cardless withdrawal through their bank, even though your bank is another bank, but they charge a fee. And the fee is only, it's like 20 baht. But if you got to take, I just need 800 baht, which has happened to me. I need a few hundred baht. Or maybe, sometimes I just take out 300 baht. I need a little money to get home and I want a little bit extra. Well, if you're going to take it out from another place and, you're taking 200 baht out and it costs 20 baht, it's 10%. It's better you just find your own ATM. Or you have what I do, which is I have 2 ATM cards here. And I can use either one of them. I have Siam Commercial and I have CASHAPP Bank. So, as long as and I used to have Bangkok Bank, I canceled it because they wanted to they charged like 690 baht every year for the card. I'm like, why am I paying 700 baht a year for the card? And then I had another card, that was 300. Then it's this other card, that was 300. Before you know it, it adds up. Not to sound cheap, but it does add up. Now, and then getting a bank account in Thailand is not always easy. There are some banks that you go to and they're going to say, no, cannot. And you're going, this sucks. I can't even get a bank account. But usually there are people that go to certain banks and they know which banks will allow foreigners to open bank accounts without a work permit or something like that. Some of the ones I have, I opened with a work permit. Some of them I did not. I've been asked to pay money to open a bank account. Like, you pay 4,000 baht for the bank account. No. And then I had to go to another bank. That bank said, no, you have 2 Bangkok banks. We're not going to open another one for you. I went to another one. No, sorry, cannot. Why? Cannot. Why? Cannot. Never gave me a reason. Finally, I went to another one. Sure, no problem. Boom, opened it up. Piece of cake. So, it's not that difficult if you, do a little research ahead of time and find out, hey, where are some places that I can go to open a bank account? Which might be a pain in the ass, but you have the internet, and the internet can be a powerful tool when you need it to be. And these are the kind of things that can help you. So get a bank account. Sometimes you may have to pay for your health insurance with a card, or just automatic withdrawal, and they'll withdraw a year at a time. So if you have the Thai bank account, piece of cake. If you don't have the Thai bank account, they're going to say, cannot. Sakat Malin, what's my wife sending me photos for or something? I don't know. Anyway, I don't know what she's doing. So, let me go on. As everybody listens intently, you can get in trouble What? I don't know what she is trying to tell me. Hang on a second. Let me see if I can do this. The next thing that you really need to think about is language. Learning the language. If I say bad thing in bang. I don't know what she's trying to tell me. Oh, I'm not going to do this. Oh well, I'll have to wait. Language. Very important. Very, very important. Find a language school. When you first arrive, try not to speak English. You will be okay. Some Thais may laugh at you. You may not get the point across. They may, they may think you're trying to tell them something that you're not. They may think that you're trying to give them a hard time about something. Most of the time they won't, but I think it's important that you learn the language. And I've gone over this many, many times. It's extremely important to learn the language. I mean, at least learn some basic phrases to get you by in the beginning. And you can build upon that. If you have, here's the thing. To me, somebody who doesn't want to learn the language, honestly, is laziness. If you don't want to learn the language and you want to live here, you're just lazy. You can say, oh, I can't do it. Oh, it's so hard. Oh, that doesn't matter. It's you're lazy. Learn for 6 hours a week. It's like 3 classes a week. Take 3 classes a week. Go Monday, Wednesday, Friday. What else do you have to do here? If you're working, that's one thing. It's good to learn to read Thai and speak Thai at the same time. Honestly. As long as the Thai is clear, I can read the Thai. I don't always understand what it means, but I can read it. Sometimes I understand it. Most of the time I understand it. But I think it's very important to learn to read and speak Thai at the same time. And I think a lot of language schools would agree with me, because it helps in learning how to speak the language. What is she talking about? Bank can take legal action suing you. But I do think it's a good idea. First of all, you can learn what people are saying about you. You can communicate with people, which people appreciate you learning their language because it shows that you care enough to learn the language. To me, somebody who doesn't want to learn the language is lazy. It's laziness, that's all it is. I know many people who don't speak the language, they get by because everybody they surround themselves with speaks a little bit of English. That's not always possible, although it is more possible now than in the past. But I do think you should learn how to speak the language. I mean, I speak a little Burmese, I speak a little Lao, I speak, well, I don't really speak that much anymore. I speak a little bit of Cambodian. I learned Russian when I was in Russia. You can learn some languages, and even if you just learn the basics, you learn how to say, how much is that? Tao rai? It will help you. Liu sai, liu kwa, go left. You don't learning when you get in trouble. Don't come. What? I don't know what the hell she's talking about. I have no idea what she's talking about. Unbelievable. She sends me this message. She knows I'm streaming, and she's sending messages with I don't understand what she's trying to tell me. Anyway, let's go on. The language is important. Being able to communicate with others, I think, is very important. And, okay, maybe they speak some English. So they speak some English, you speak some Thai, and together you can communicate with each other. All right, cultural etiquette. You should familiarize yourself with Thai customs and cultural norms to show respect and avoid unintentional offenses. Now, I look at it like this. If I offend them and I didn't mean to, it's unintentional. I don't want to offend them. But I do think it's important to learn what is normal, what's not normal, how to get by. If there is a person standing here and a person standing here and you're walking in between them, it's very simple what you do. And some people know and some people don't. You duck down a little bit lower than them and go through. Very simple. But it shows a level of respect to them. And maybe they don't expect it from you, but when they do see it, they go, oh, you know. You don't have to do it, but I would think it's a good idea. Just like when somebody comes up to you and whys them, you should why back. There are certain people you should why. There are certain people who they need to why you first. You need to figure out, okay, what's the deal? Who's gonna why me? Who am I gonna why? Who's my P? Who's my nong? You need to figure that kind of stuff out. What do you call them if you don't know if they're a P or a nong? If they're older than you or younger than you, what do you call them? What do you say to them? You need to learn these things. And this will make your transition into the country and your stay in the country that much easier. Okay, the next one, transportation. You should familiarize yourself, get acquainted with local transportation options, buses, taxis, boats, tuk-tuks, motorbikes, rotus, SkyTrain, subway, CityLink, electric boats. Learn about all these things and then you can use them. They're just extra tools. So if I want to get around and I don't know how to get there, I'm like, okay, perfect example, the drone guy. I'm like, well, how do I get there? I'm like, okay, so where is it, what area? Alex goes, oh, it's by St. Louis. I said, oh, I know where that is, and I know that the SkyTrain has a stop there. I looked at it and it said, oh, well, if you want to walk from the SkyTrain, it's about 25 minutes, which to me, in the heat, is a little bit long. I mean, I can do it very easily, but I'd rather jump on a motorcycle and for 40 baht, 50 baht, they take you right to where you're going. You're there in 5 minutes. So I know how to get to St. Louis. I know, okay, I can take the boat, get on the MRT, take the Sukhumvit line, go to the Silom line, boom, I get off. I know if I want to go down to the south to Surat, I can fly or I can take a train. I know how to do it. I know just about every way to travel somewhere, and if I don't know, I can find it out like that. I can figure it out. Oh, they, you know, for a long time, if I used to go to Pattaya, I used to go to the bus station. Bus is like 110 baht. Cost me like 70 baht, 80 baht to get there. Even if I take a boat, cost me 40 baht to get to the boat station, 20 baht from the boat station to Tonglor, from Tonglor to Ekamai, or just to Ekamai, I think it's Tonglor, cost me another, say, 50 baht. So it's actually more expensive to take the boat than to just go like on the SkyTrain or something like that. It might be more expensive. But it doesn't really matter. That doesn't really matter. The money is fairly small. However, right here, right next door. And I was talking to a guy the other day, and he was like, oh, there's a van that goes to Pattaya from here? And I'm like, yes. No, yes, there is. It's 180 baht. And if you want, you can buy the whole van. If you want, you can pay for all the tickets to go. You can't pick anybody up. You can do that. I've never done that, but I have rented out 2 or 3 seats so that I can have the whole front row to myself. I've done that in the past. I don't do it very often. But you just go over there, you catch the van, it takes you straight to Pattaya, it takes you right to South Pattaya, boom. Wherever you're going, you're on Sukhumvit, you get off at South Pattaya, you go, all right, you get a motorcycle and you go, okay, take me here, 50 baht. It might cost you like 50 baht. That's it. So for 180 baht, I don't have to go anywhere. I just go right down the street. I can walk to the van station, right? It's a deal. Then when you're coming back, you go to another station, take you right back. I don't have to go from Pattaya if I want to do this. I don't have to go from Pattaya to Ekamai, from Ekamai to the boat station, from the boat station to the Mall Bankabi, from the Mall Bankabi, walk across the street, jump on a motorcycle, and get home. No, I don't have to do that. The van drops you off right there, you jump on a motorcycle, and 2 minutes later you're home. Pretty good. So learn how to use transportation here. It will help you. Also be mindful of food hygiene practices and drink bottled or boiled water here, at least in the beginning. I used to do all this stuff. I used to drink only bottled water. I never used to do anything else. I don't always now. I mean, most of the time I do, but it just depends. But you need to be careful of where you eat. If you go into a place and it's a busy time and you see nobody sitting in the restaurant and the restaurant next door is packed full of people, well, why is that one place empty and the other place isn't? More than likely because the food is better in the place where everybody's sitting, and who knows what the deal is with the food in the place where nobody is sitting. And that goes, really, that's in general, that goes for everywhere. You see a place and it's just empty, don't go there. What are you gonna go there for? You see a stall and the food looks like it's been there for a year, what are you gonna go to that stall for? See something here. Oh, what is this? Okay, so let me see here. Oh God. How do you deal with it if you see the taxi driver forgot to put the meter on so he can overcharge you? Oh, that's very simple. You tell him to turn the meter on. The fact that he didn't turn the meter on from when he left is his problem. Just go turn the meter on. And if he doesn't want to, you go, I'm getting out. Now, if you wait until he takes you the whole trip, then what on earth are you thinking of? You don't let the guy go and then he goes, okay, 300 baht. And you're like, no, you need to turn the meter on. Well, how's he going to turn it on when you're already there? But if you're just pulling out, hi, Bruce. If you're just pulling out, I've been in places and I get into I always just get in. And if they go, 400 baht, no, I get out. Yeah, they don't forget. They're looking for a sucker. That's what they're doing. They're looking for a sucker who will go, oh, okay. Guy asked me, he asked me for 400 baht. I get in the taxi, I go, it's 100 baht. I'm no spring chicken. I've been here a long time. I don't need to pay. I don't need to overpay by all that in order to be able to get a ride. Right? Because I always get overcharged from going Bangkok airport to the city. Well, that's your fault. It's your fault. You go to the little stall outside that has the tickets, and you show the ticket to the driver, and if the driver says 200 baht, 300 baht, whatever, you go, no, turn the meter on. And if he doesn't turn the meter on, you get out and you go. That's all. Exactly. You cannot, here's the thing. You don't need to get violent about it. You don't need to get aggressive. You don't need to be loud. But you do need to be forceful and say no. That's the thing. All this boils down to being able to say no. If he says, no, I'm not, you need to give me 400 baht or 500 baht, whatever it is. No, I'm not giving it to you. And if he wants to get violent, you get on the phone with the police, you say, I'm calling the police, and you do that. And usually they're not going to do anything to you if they're ripping you off. But you should not be overcharged. And if you are overcharged, it's because you let them overcharge you. I don't get overcharged anymore. I mean, believe that. And my wife, she'll just go, they want 100 baht. I'm like, no, tell them fuck off. Turn the meter on. She go, she don't want to bother with it. But I do. I do, because I just want what is fair. There has to be some justice in the world. And when it comes to taxi drivers, I have no mercy. Taxi drivers and tuk-tuks, I have absolutely no mercy. Motorcycles, what I have found, honestly, I tell a motorcycle to go somewhere, I don't even ask them for a discount. I don't ask them what the price is. I don't ask them for anything. I just get on the bike. And I know generally about how much it costs. So if I think to myself, this is going to be around 100 baht, and I go, Taurai Cup, 60 baht, 60 baht. No problem. Here you go, buddy. Because once I start speaking Thai to them, they already know, oh, this guy probably knows what's going on. I'm not going to try to rip him off. And a lot of guys, they won't try to rip you off anyway. They just don't. That's not in their makeup. They're not thinking, how many farang can I rip off? Now, there are people that hang out down in Sukhumvit or wherever it may be, and they're looking for foreigners so that they can charge them more money. And at the airport. From the airport, one time when I came back from Hong Kong, I go outside, I get my ticket, I go into the taxi, we start driving off, we're almost on the on-ramp. Guy goes 400 baht, or whatever it was, 300 baht, 500 baht. And I go, no. I go, no. Either you let me out or I'm not paying it. Okay. And he turned it on, and I never said another word to him. Because I'm like, all right, you bastard, I know what you're about. You are trying to rip me off, so I understand that. And some of them, listen, they may rip you off anyway. They may have the meter rigged. Now, that's a little hard to decipher, but you can usually tell if the price is a lot more. If you go to a place and it usually costs you 120 baht, and all of a sudden it starts costing you 300, you know that there's a difference. This is another reason why you got to learn how to. You need to learn how to speak Thai. No, why are you asking? What are you asking them to turn the meter on? Oh, can you turn the meter on, please? No. You don't ask nothing. It's the law that they need to use the meter. You just go meter. And I don't mean to be a hard ass. All I'm saying is, you're not questioning them. You're not asking them, oh, can you do this? Can you do that? No. Turn the meter on. Oh, I don't want to. Okay, bye. See you later. And they may change their mind. And sometimes I've just gotten out. I just go, eh. And you know, usually I get off and I'm like, fucking rip off. Close the door behind me, and that's it. But you do need to learn Thai, and you do need to learn how to deal with people when you're getting transportation. You can go into where the vans are and where the buses are, and if they really want, they could rip you off. You think they couldn't rip you off? Of course they could. Anytime you go into a place and they're showing numbers in Thai, for most foreigners, that means I can rip you off. I'm going to charge you double because there's air conditioning here. Or whatever it is. Now, they do charge for ice, and that's a legitimate charge. I understand. They're charging Thais, they're charging foreigners in some places. I don't really understand it, but okay, fine, whatever. As I said, for heat and rain, and make, you know, listen, if you keep like one sweater or sweatshirt that will keep you cool in like 60 degrees, that's probably enough. That's really all you need. You need something. I mean, I have a couple jackets, but like I have one jacket that is really thick. I had one jacket that's not that thick. So if I go somewhere and I go, how cold is it going to be there? Oh, 35 degrees. I better bring the thick jacket. Maybe I'll even bring the other jacket. But, you know, like right now, I'm wearing a pair of, this is pretty much my daily outfit. T-shirt, shorts, a pair of flip-flops, a pair of sandals. Once in a while, I'll wear jeans. But I don't always have to wear jeans. Because jeans are hot, especially in this weather. That's routine for them to charge a nominal fee for ice, yeah. Well, it's not only that they're paying an ice vendor, it could be because they're using their water to make the ice, and it's extra electricity to freeze the ice, and I've been charged for air conditioning. You want the air on? Yes, I do. Okay. Then they'll go, okay, it's 10 baht for the air. But, you know, this is the kind of stuff, I mean, it is what it is. You get used to it. If you've ever been to Thai restaurants, like Thai-style restaurants, and you go to a place to get some food and something to drink, and you say, I'll take a soda. What they do is they will bring you a big bottle of soda, they'll open it up and they'll pour it. Then you have a little bit left, and then they'll pour that in, and then they'll bring you another bottle of soda, so that if your drink gets low, if your glass gets low, they can just open it up and pour another. Sometimes you don't even ask for that extra bottle. They've already got it open and they're pouring it in. That's kind of Thailand. Yeah, I don't feel the need to wear jeans. I don't have to impress anybody, and nor do I have to wear jeans because I'm in a formal setting or anything like that, nor do I care. And I think my legs are in pretty good shape after all these years. And so, you know, it doesn't bother me to, I can wear jeans, I can wear shorts, whatever it is, but I just don't want to wear jeans a lot of the time. Can I have a lid for this ice bucket, please? Oh, God. Really? You know, maybe you're going to pay 5 baht for the ice. If they bring a lid, they bring a lid. If they don't, that's okay too. You know, you just deal with it. That's the whole thing. Things that are a certain way in the US or the UK or Australia or wherever it is are not necessarily like they are here. And you just get used to it and you say, cop, 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 okay, cop, and that's it. Okay, something else that some people don't think about is the legal matters they may face when they come here. You know, you've got to understand, obviously, the laws and the regulations, and you don't want to do something quickly to get yourself in trouble. But like with visas and residency and driving and ownership of a condo or a house or anything like that, you need to perhaps see a lawyer and maybe get yourself an international driving license or a Thai driving license. You might want to do that. I have thought about that probably 100 times. And 100 times I just go, I don't really need it. If I want, I can. If I want, I have people in my phone I can call up and say, listen, I need to go here. How much is it going to cost me? Okay. Usually it's pretty reasonable. You know, I mean, if you're going to go a long way, you know, well, it might cost me a bit. And if you're going with, say, 3-4 people, it's not bad. So I have people that I can call. I sit back. That's it. I don't have to deal with. I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to worry. Oh shit! There's a raccoon in the street. Oh, there's an old lady. Oh, let me just run right through her. I don't have to worry about any of that. You know. It's that simple. I don't have to worry about driving, so I like that. The other thing that you know, it's one thing to have healthcare insurance. It's another thing to get to know some of the hospitals in your area and your healthcare providers. I mean, we have a couple of little clinics in our area, and we used to go to them when the kids were smaller. We don't go to them anymore. Now, I used to go to Waitangi Hospital quite often, and I just don't go there anymore because I find they're charging way more than I think they should. And I go to Ramkhamhaeng or I'll go to Lat Pral. It depends on what it is. If it's an emergency, maybe I'll go to Waitangi. I don't know, but it just depends. I mean, I haven't, knock on wood, gone to the hospital in a long time for anything serious. So, but it does pay to know where you're going, to know, you know, if you're going and you're having like I have a hip problem. I know if I have a hip problem again, I'm going to try to go back to the same guy. He's very good, reasonably priced, you know, so that's how it works. About what? Some of the Google reviews are scathing about what? What are you talking about? I have no idea what you're talking about. And I understand it. And some of them are not. You know, I understand that too. Listen, you're talking to somebody who's been to probably a dozen hospitals since I've been here. And I would say a couple of them have given me service where I was like, what are you talking about? They're charging me more, and I've had to, listen, my kid went in to get a little procedure done when he was like 10 years old. And I said to them, he has insurance, and the insurance said, we will cover it. At the end, they said, it's going to be 8,000 baht. And I said, no, my insurance will cover it. No. I said, listen, he doesn't feel good. I'm getting pissed off. I'm going home. Do what you have to do. Call whoever you want to call, but I'm going home. No, wait. Okay, Cyrus, I'll see you when you get here. I said, no. Don't go home. I said, well, I'm not waiting around. Okay, wait, one minute. They brought this really, I've told this story before, and it may have changed a little bit, but it's basically the same gist. They brought in a very good-looking girl. She's a good-looking girl, spoke good English, and she said, please, just wait for a minute. I said, okay. I waited for a minute. She comes back, and she goes, okay, no problem, you're finished. I said, what do you mean? You no pay. Okay. See you later. Because I knew I didn't have to pay. But they're trying to get money out of it. And I've already told the story about when I went in for my gallbladder surgery, and they tried to get money out of me, and they charged me, and they said, oh, you didn't pay us. And I looked at my bank, and it showed the money was withdrawn. I said, well, when the money gets back in my bank account, I'll pay you again, but I'm not paying you yet. Okay. I went back. They were like, sorry, machine no good. They charged me again. Again, they had a problem. I said, I'll be back when it comes back in my bank account. Went back again, just like 5 days later. Money goes back in my bank account. They said, okay, can you take it out from the ATM? I wanted the points, because there was a lot of points on my Amex card. I said, fine. I go to the ATM, and I take the money out. Paid him in cash. That was a hassle. And that kind of thing happens once in a while. But you know what? The thing to remember, and this is on the list actually, one thing you need to bring with you when you come here is patience and flexibility. You try to stay positive, you try to be patient, you try to stay flexible, and you just adapt to the situation. If you were in the Congo, if you're in the Congo and you wanted to go somewhere, they may say, okay, no problem. And then 12 o'clock comes, you're supposed to be gone. Where's the captain? Wait. 2 o'clock, there's no captain. Wait. 4 o'clock, you're like, what's going on here? They go, okay, tomorrow. You gotta go the next day. That's the kind of patience it takes. It'll drive you crazy. What happens if you die in Thailand? Oh, that's another procedure. Your will has to be translated into Thai. And if you die at home, then they do an investigation. If you die in the hospital, then they just state a cause of death, and it's much easier. Then they notify the embassy, and the embassy tries to notify somebody, your next of kin or whatever. That's how it works, basically, in a nutshell. Okay. Work and business. If you're working or starting a business, familiarize yourself with labor laws, tax requirements, and business practices in Thailand. And, the first thing is, if you really want a worker, you got to find a job. Easier said than done. Much easier said than done. Usually what I've found, the jobs that I've had here, I have either made myself as a media person. I got on with a magazine, and that was it. I was in. Or it comes from the next subject, which is social networking. You get to know people, and over time you go, well, yeah, I don't know, man. I kind of need some work now, and you know what? I can help you out. In fact, I just had some work a couple of months ago. My friend tells me, hey, I got a guy, I know him, he needs somebody to help write a couple of articles. I said, oh, okay. Boom. Sends me what he needs, I send it to him, done. I got myself a couple of months of work, I just send him in the articles, boom, done. And that comes from social networking, whether it be through, social networking online or networking in social events, or just I know a friend of a friend, those kind of things. The other thing is make sure you have your list of important contacts. Everybody that you need to contact, you need to be able to get a hold of. You should have those at your fingertips, whether it's in your phone, and then you have a backup of it. And back up your phone, back up your computer. It's a good idea. But make sure you have your emergency contacts, and that the people that are back home, wherever you may be, if you still have a mother and father and they're around, they need to know, oh, well, if somebody calls, here's what you do. They need to know how to handle things. And obviously, there could be all kinds of things they need to handle, but for the basic things, you don't really have to worry about if you die, because if you die, you're dead. But if you have somebody back home, you need to make sure that the embassy has their contact information. And you can do that online. They have a thing online where the embassy knows exactly where you are, and they have your contact information, or you don't have to give it to them. All right, another one. Utilities and services. Electric, water, internet. You need to try to set these things up if you can. You need to set those things up. Like once you say, I'm moving in on this day, that stuff should be set up to where when you move in, everything is set up. You got internet, you got electricity, you got water, you got whatever you need. I don't really think most people need a phone anymore, because they have a phone with their mobile phone is their phone. Some people still have those. We did for a long time, and then I go, we don't need this anymore. It's just an extra 600 baht for nothing. So we got rid of it. So you're gonna have to get those things turned on. Maybe your landlord can do it if you have a landlord. Maybe you can get some help with it, but you're gonna have to do that. If you have kids, you're gonna need to get them into school, whether it be, kindergarten, pre-kindergarten, elementary, junior high, whatever it may be. You're gonna have to get them into school. And that alone is a job. Just researching that and finding a good school in the neighborhood or fairly close to you, or, in the beginning, we took the kids to school. We picked the kids up from school. Then, as they got older, they took a van. We had to pay money for that. It was 7,000 baht for each of them. The kids went to school, then, they had to go to school at like 6:30 in the morning. They jumped in a minivan with a bunch of other kids, and then they got taken to school. And then in the afternoons, they had to come home. It was 4:30 or something like that. They came home in the minivan. As they got older and were able to travel on their own, they went by bus. They didn't mind, because they took the bus, and the bus dropped them off right behind school. So they had to get to the bus line on Lat Pral. They just had to take a Songtao to where the bus is, jump on the bus, and then the bus took them right to school. So they love that. But you're gonna need to figure it out yourself. Some places have these big yellow buses. Some have some other kind of bus. Some have minivans. It all depends. Depends on the school, and it depends. Is it international? Is it bilingual? What do you want to do? Okay, so I already said patience and flexibility. You're gonna need to make sure that you know about some safety precautions, like, what if you need to call the police? What if you need to call for a fire? You need to know things like this. And then really, one of the last things is you need to know, what can you do to spend your time? What can you do that you have fun? You're here, well, you want to have a good time. What are you going to do? You're going to come to the mall every day and sit here and have a coffee? I don't do this every day. It'd be boring as hell. The only reason I come to the mall is to go grocery shopping and have a coffee, and maybe once in a while I'll have something to eat. Other than that, I don't come here very often. You could start a YouTube channel, and the thing is if you're going to start a YouTube channel, you better be prepared for it, because it can be a lot more work than you think, and you can get a lot of grief, you can get no grief, you can get all kinds of stuff. I've made a handful of friends through the channel, and I'm grateful for that. So I would say, that's a good thing. I mean, Jono's been here for over 3 years, almost 4 years now. I helped him come here. I feel good about that. And he's on his own doing great. No, I don't want to be on Twitch. I'm not going anywhere else. As I said, probably this year, by the end of this year, I will be streaming maybe once a month, maybe twice a month, if that. Maybe I'll put up a video or two every month. But I don't want to get into anything new. I don't want to do that, especially Twitch. Doesn't strike my fancy, you know. But you need to figure out something to do. I mean, you know, listen, I played tennis, I've been golfing, even though that was a long time ago, but and I wasn't very good. I went bowling. Now they don't have a bowling alley here. They used to have a bowling alley here. I think they have one across the street, but I haven't been there in a while now. There's all kinds of stuff to do. You know, you can immerse yourself in photography, you can do videography, you can do all kinds of things. You can sit and read a book. I mean, I got all kinds of books, and I've read them all, and I read them, you know, sometimes I read them 2-3 times because they're that good, or I haven't read it in a while and I forget about them. So that's something else you can do. Finally, you know, if you want to get involved, you need to have some kind of an expat community, or you should. For me, the expat community is on YouTube. I don't like to go on that Asian or any of these other, you know, the Cheap Door, or what, I think that's what it's called. Some of these other places online, you know, like International Living or Internations or whatever it is. I don't need this stuff. I got a full life just with my wife and kids and the YouTube, which I don't do all that much. I have a full life because of that. And then the times that I don't have a full life, the times that I'm alone, I want to be alone. I want to lay there on the sofa and read a book, or I want to watch TV, or I want to just play with the cats. You know, that's kind of what I do. Now, the last thing, and this is just something to remember, it's not really anything you have to do, but the other thing that you need to do when you come here is just respect the monarchy. You know, you can like them, not like them, feel however you want, but you just don't want to go mouthing off about it. There's no need for it. And that's it. There may be some other things, but I haven't been able to think of them, so right now they're not being talked about. I do not want to be on Twitch. No way. I went on Twitch once, a long time ago, and I don't know. YouTube is more my speed, for what that's worth. Let's see here. Uh-oh. Okay, the big fight is starting here. The Canelo Alvarez fight is starting. The Aldo fight is starting. So, that's where we are right now. Anyway, I think that's all we have to talk about, unless somebody has some questions. Somebody has some questions, I'd be happy to answer them. Oh God, that was like 30 years ago. You can get there by taxi if you want. You can walk there. Some people walk. I mean, they're that close, you know, but I mean, it just depends. That's really trivial stuff. You don't really need to worry about that stuff. You'll get there one way or the other. You know, if you have to, you take a taxi, you can take a song towel, you can drive there with a friend, you can, you know, there's a million different ways. I don't even remember really going there. I just remember that I did, but that was a long time ago and I sucked. Terrible. Doing a little online teaching and cheapest work permit. There is no cheapest work permit. A work permit is the same price no matter what. And you say a little online teaching, then you have to have somebody that's going to sponsor you, like a business, like your business that you start up, which is not as easy as you think. If you're going to just do online teaching, and you know, I'm not saying do this, but I don't know that you would need to get a work permit. You should legally get a work permit, but that would mean you'd have to have a school that would say, okay, you work for us. Well, if a school is based in Japan and you want to live in Thailand, think about that. Either the school in Japan needs to sponsor you, or you need to do it here without anyone sponsoring you and without anyone knowing. And I'm, you know, listen, I'm for doing things legally, but you know, you can do whatever you want. You can do it however you want. Anyway, do me a favor, leave the thumbs up, subscribe, look at the description, check down in the description. Get yourself some merch, it's 20% off. Just go to the link down below or below the video window if the merchandise is shown. If not, the link is in the description. And when you go to the page, you automatically get the discount. So that's great. I'd appreciate it. And I guess all I got to say is thank you. Thank you, everybody. Consider becoming a member. Blah, 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 blah. Thank you. That is all. Choke D, Lil Jerk and my, which is good luck and see you later. I am Scott. ชื่อสกอตมาเลนอยู่ประเทศไทยอยู่ในเมืองกรุงเทพ I'm in the city. Thank you very much. Hey, thank you very much there. I appreciate that, Dale. Let me give you a thumbs up and a heart. There you go. All right, great. At the buzzer, so I don't get shut out. I love that. All right, guys, it's time to go. I'm meeting up with another subscriber who should be here soon, so that's great. And I will talk to you guys later. Have a good one. Don't get in trouble.